Merhaba, iyi akşamlar.
Well, hi everyone. Good evening, distinguished press representatives, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2020 Sabri Ülker Science Award Gala Night, which is one of the very prestigious scientific awards in the world. I would like to welcome you all. So tonight we have gathered for the Sabri Ülker Science Award, and today we are going to be celebrating the 7th edition of Sabri Ülker Scientific Award, and I'm your Master of Ceremony, Selen Tokcan, and I'm very excited to be here with you. And by the way, the Minister of Science and Technology, Mustafa Varank, was supposed to join us today, but because of their hectic schedule, unfortunately, they couldn't make it. Dr. Çetin Ali Dönmez, who is the Vice Minister, has joined us. Hi, sir. We would like to welcome you all, and thank you very much for joining us. So, what makes this night so special? Let's go through, when we visit and have a look at the previous winners. Developmental or some other diseases, when there is whenever there is a new diagnosis there is a new discovery in the diagnostics, like related with the obesity, or the natural treatment of the age-degenerative diseases, or when we look at the stem cell technologies, improvement in the stem cell for the genetic diseases, we're all mainly also incidentally talking about Sabri Ülker Foundation, because Sabri Ülker has always told these scientists that we're aware of you, we see you, we acknowledge you, and we are here to support you. That is why it actually is a very special night. That's why I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sabri Ülker Science Foundation for the support that they provide to the scientists. So I would like to invite both President of Yıldız Holding, Ali Ülker, distinguished Ülker, is going to take the floor with a great round of applause. Distinguished guests, distinguished minister, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to greet you and welcome you. Well, distinguished guests, I actually would like to make a very small introduction or welcoming speech tonight. And I would like to emphasize one thing. This is so that this would be a night where we're talking about science and we celebrate the achievements of the scientists. We have, unfortunately, we have lost my lovely grandfather in 2012, and in his name and in his memory, we established Sabri Ülker Scientific Foundation. So Sabri Ülker Foundation, Scientific Foundation, is trying to offer the best know-how and experience in the field of science and related developments to the public. Metabolic research, food and nutrition are the main focal points of research. In 2017, we have seen that two distinguished people who were previous chair people, Murat Ülker, sir, and there was a professor from Harvard, Gökhan Otomişligil, who has joined their ways, and at the end of which we had a great collaboration, Sabri Ülker Center, within the auspices, within the scope of Harvard University. And as you know, this has been crowned with this scientific award for 8 years. Sabri Ülker continues its operations for 8 years at Harvard University, and we have been granting our award for 7 years. And it's a great pleasure for me to announce that we have not only so many winners and nominees, not only from Turkey, but from the international landscape as well. But it has been always won by young Turkish researchers, which means that we have a great network all throughout the world and in Turkey. And hopefully, with the initiatives and with the investments in Turkey, again, we are going to be a pioneering center in terms of paving the way for the other centers. So once again, I would like to thank you very much, because you have honored us with your presence today. And I'm looking forward to the results. Let's see who is the winner. Thank you so much. Thank you. Distinguished Ali Ülker, I would like to thank you very much. Now, you know, we always say that, well, it requires a certain patience, because when we're talking about research, scientific research, it takes years, but there's so much and fast consumption in today's, and we are looking and forward and anticipating the results that, you know, it has become a phenomenon. So it is very valuable to show patience. Maybe we are going to see the results after so many years, and being there, showing your support for the scientists, it's a great value. Once again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the foundation. Now, General Secretary of the foundation, Selen Tokcan, is going to take the floor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you so much for the futures of the public health in order to make a contribution to the future generations. Since 2016, we have been distributing Sabri Ülker Science Awards, and we would like to welcome you once again to this Sabri Ülker Science Award Gala Night. We wanted to make a contribution to the public health. As we heard from Ali Ülker, Sir Ali Ülker, we established the foundation in memoriam of late Sabri Ülker, and we wanted to make a contribution to the future research and researchers. Tonight and this year we are celebrating 12th anniversary. We have made so many collaborations and great achievements, and we have made great partnerships. And let me very briefly talk about those partnerships and collaborations. So, the balanced nutrition education project, which we implemented in cooperation with the Ministry of National Education, General Directorate of Fundamental Education, is one of our longest running projects as the foundation. And it has reached more than 7 million children in 11 years, while they were continuing in primary schools in 20 provinces of Turkey. And there is another very important project which is making sure that the scientific know-how is offered to the influencers, the journalists, and distinguished members of the press. And we wanted to also offer an interactive education program. And this is, again, one of its kind in Turkey. We are gathering together the education experts and the researchers. So actually, we are making sure that the communication experts are taught how to utilize that know-how and information, so that we make sure the public has better access to scientific research. And we just said that we want everyone to have access to the books. 2 million books are now published, offered to the kids, so that we have, thanks to the Sabri Ülker Foundation publications, we are again continuing our publications with the motto for everyone to read. So today, again, for the future generations, we have a pivotal project, and this is why we have gathered here today. And in a short while, we are going to hear the winner. Well, this is the 7th edition, but let's see who were encouraged and supported previously. Now, I would like to invite you to join me to see the previous winners. Thank you.
Sabri Ülker Uluslararası Bilim Ödülü bu yıl Sayın Kıvanç Birsoy'a takdim ediliyor. Tebrik ediyoruz. Başarılarınızın devamını diliyoruz efendim.
Sabri Ülker Vakfı'na ve Ülker ailesinin değerli fertlerine de çok teşekkür ederim. Hem
I would like to thank Sabri Ülker Foundation because they're supporting young scientists, me and myself, and you have made my family very proud.
Sayın Ebru Erbay.
Sağlık için Biyoaktif Lipidler isimli projesiyle bu ödüle layık görüldü Ebru Erbay ve bu projesinde obezitenin önemli bir sonucu olan damar sertliği gibi kronik metabolik
In the prevention of chronic metabolic diseases, she made a research about the importance of active lipids. I can't thank the foundation enough because we have so many hardworking colleagues who have submitted their applications, and I'm accepting this award on behalf of them.
Yılmaz from MIT.
So I'd like to thank the Sabri Ülker Foundation, the Sabri Ülker Center for this great honor. It's a privilege as a junior faculty to attend these types of meetings, to talk about science, to meet leaders in the field, and to get feedback from the audience.
2019 Sabri Ülker Bilim Ödülü'nün kazananı Doçent Doktor Tamer Önder.
Çok mutluyum, çok onurluyum. İlk başta
I'm very happy and I'm very honored. The first thing I would like to say is, of course, I'm so happy and thankful for seeing me as worthy of this award. Ülker Family, Ülker Foundation, and the scientific committee, and my role model, Professor Gökhan, when I was in the United States. Thank you so much.
Ailemden ve vatanımdan
I'm, miles away from my family and my country. This warm news from my hometown has made me so happy. Ülker Foundation has committed itself to raise awareness within the public, and this support is extraordinary, and it's first and unique of its kind. I'm such in an honored position to be a part of this family, and I'm looking forward to inspire the young Turkish brains as well. Nur Fırat Karalar, tebrikler, congratulations.
Sabri Ülker.
Sabri Ülker Science Award is going to be granted. Our priority is health, and our compass is science. And I would like to thank you very much for joining us here today. Selen Tokcan, we would like to thank you very much. Well, you have seen the previous winners. Now, without further ado, I'm going to invite one of the most important architects, Harvard president of Center of Sabri Ülker, and jury, the president of the jury, Professor Dr. Gökhan Hotamışlıgil. The floor is yours, sir. Hotamışlıgil is going to make a very small speech, and then we are going to have the panel of the winners, and Gökhan Bey is going to be the moderator. Gökhan Bey, the floor is yours. Well, first of all, I would like to welcome you all. We would like to thank you very much for joining us tonight, which marks a very special occasion for us. And before I start, Well, there are so many things, and I'm aware of the fact that we are standing between you and your dinner. So I'm going to cut it rather short. So all of the team members of Sabri Ülker Foundation, thank you very much. We have been working together for 8 years, and I have not seen any other positive and friendly attitude in any other team. And I find myself very lucky. They have a great commitment for research and science, and I can't thank them enough. And with Ülker, coupled with Ülker Foundation, I would like to once again offer my gratitude to the whole Ülker family, and this has been a part of our long pursued dream. So I call this Sabri Ülker Scientific Network, which is disseminated all throughout the world, and the texture of that weaving has been getting stronger and stronger, and this scientific award is a part of that. And very briefly, probably you have heard this, but I would like to repeat this. So first of all, what I would like to say is a scientific award, or the scientific movement initiative, the importance, the value of that shall be actually identified by the winners of that award rather than those who are granting it. So what is going to be the significance of Sabri Ülker Scientific Award in the upcoming 2 decades? Well, of course, it's up to the winners, up to the youth and the young stars of the scientific community. That's why, while we were identifying this group, the efforts that we show are very, very significant, and we're going to meet them in a minute. I will very briefly talk about them and introduce them. This is indeed a group of very talented and inspirational young people. So what we dream is that it's going to be even stronger in the upcoming 2 decades, so that they will have better prospects of cooperating and collaborating with one another. Between these scientists and their Turkish peers, some bridges are built so that they work on joint projects, and some scientific activities are created within this network, hence a better impact on the global scale, and its translation into a stronger movement in our country, so that this sets a model for the other people. We would like to create an impact which we would like to see in relation with Turkey, but also have the uppermost impact on the global standards as well. So this is our long-term dream, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ülker community, family, and foundation for endlessly supporting this long-term dream. Oh, well, there is this commonality of all these dreams, which is metabolism. So this is metabolism because we see is one of the most important and vital aspects of life. In every cell, in every molecular interaction, it has a controlling mechanism. So regarding the health, it has its impact in all of the health-related activities, and it has an affiliation with all of the diseases, and it is a very essential thing, life-determining, underlying the diseases. It is a mechanism which we see. This is why we focus on those aspects, and surrounding the scientific awards, these stars are touching upon and conducting their research on different aspects. So they look at the topic from different perspectives. So they work in a very rich spectrum of topics. And this year's winner has been, and you're going to see them in a minute, is a great star, and they have looked into the impacts and repercussions of brain in this domain. We're going to talk about them, at length. So perhaps before we go in there, very briefly, we would like to have a very fast chat with the other friends, so that we get the opportunity to see them once again, and you will see how proud we are of these achievements. So, as I have indicated before, we are choosing the Turkish researchers at the onset of their careers, and we try to choose who are prospective stars, which is very difficult, right? How do you know that someone is going to be a star? But we have met some superstars, literally superstars, and even after their nomination, they have skyrocketed. So they have become perhaps full-time professors, or they have won very important scientific activities, and they have won some very important scientific awards. And very fast, they continue their career path, and we are very honored and very pleased with that. So we have been joined by three of these researchers who won the awards while working in Turkey, and three of them won while they were working abroad. You're going to see them. All of them are actually all over the world, and they're citizens of the science among different institutions, among different universities. They can show different activities. They work in different positions. So unfortunately, we could not be joined by the first winner, Kıvanç Gürsoy, who is a graduate of Bilkent University, then went to MIT and Rockefeller University, and right at the moment, again, he skyrocketed with a meteoric fast, and now he works at Rockefeller University. He works on cancer metabolism, and he has great contributions. And for the last couple of years, whichever scientific journal you open up, we see an article from Kıvanç's lab. The third winner, Öner Yılmaz, who was working in stem cell related research, both as a clinician and also as a researcher. Very important scientific researcher. They couldn't join because they're now working in the clinic. Unfortunately, in some of the clinics at USA, there are still COVID-related. They're very busy. So I talked to them, and they apologize. And Ömer is not separate from this group. Ömer looked into stem cell and how they're impacted by the food, changing the behaviors. And in the previous months, so he became a full professor at MIT. He has a tenured position now, and the second generation likewise is following the footsteps, or his footsteps, who is very successful. And today we are joined by online participants. Ebru Erbay, you see on the left-hand side, and she graduated from School of Medicine, Ankara University. So probably her story is the most interesting one. She's always traveling among different continents and organizations. And then in USA, she completed her PhD, and then at the center postdoc, and then she got her first academic position at Bilkent University. And during her position there, she won Sabri Ülker Scientific Award. And then from Bilkent, she traveled to Los Angeles, UCLA, and very soon, well, actually recently, she found herself in Adolph's labs. Maybe I have talked about this to some of you. There is a very recent initiative to overcome the bottlenecks in academy. It's a new institute. She is one of the founding members, and now she is in San Francisco. Ebru, hi, welcome. Hi, Professor Gökhan. Hi. And on the right-hand side, we see Elçin. We just heard her. And Elçin is looking into the intracellular inner mechanisms, particularly in the reproductive cells, aging-related molecular order, and regarding the aging and the repair mechanisms. She's looking at very essential topics, and she's the head of a very great program. She's no exception to the rest of the team. When we found her, she was just a fresh assistant professor, and when we chose her, before we had the opportunity to meet her, she was appointed as an associate professor, and when we gave her the award, she has become professor. And Elçin, now we're going to hear it from you. and you are working on great programs. And both Kvanch, so both three professors have won the award of Pew Foundation. They are actually very identical to what we're doing in terms of their operations, and every year they are investing in people who believe they're going to be stars, and they have a Latin America program. We see us as the sort of the Turkish program, and all of these colleagues were granted that award as well. And within the hall, we have two more distinguished previous winners, Elif and Tamer. Can we have you over here, please?
Bravo. Hadi ben de
Let me join you here as well, and let us sit here for a few minutes and chat. Yes, both Tamer and Elif are working at the Koç University, and not unlike other individuals here presented, their careers are on the fast track, and I learned that Tamer is promoted as a professor, and the medical biology's management has been assigned to him. I don't know if I need to congratulate you for that, but Godspeed. And Ömer is working on stem cells, and we have worked with him at Boston, and they had built a Turkish biology colloquium, and we were running that back in Boston. And Elif is she's working on an organelle in the center of the cells called centriole, and there is also a small tiny there are cilia that are small cilium, the plural of cilium. So there are many cilia on cells, which governs the activities of the cells and which helps organs work in a healthy way. And she's working with cilia. She is working on the European. She has collected the recovery awards of the European Research Center, and she is the mother of 3 children. So she's an exemplary scientist. I hope you're well. And Ebru, let us start with you, because we're curious about you. How are things going there? I would like to wish you a wonderful evening, and I'm sorry about my bad connection. Right now I'm in San Francisco, and it's a great honor to be the founding member of Altos Lab. It's got its pluses and challenging aspects as well, but joining academia and industry in its best aspects was our ideal. And just like Professor Gökhan said, our dream was to remove the obstacles before science and to accelerate it, and to ensure that scientific discoveries are translated into treatment. It's a great thing, you know. It was an experience that I wanted to experience, and I would like to thank you for that. Elçin, how are you? I'm well. How about you? I'm great. Hi, and hi, everyone. Hi. Everything's going great, and I'm in California, and Ebru is in San Francisco, and I'm on the eastern part. I'm in Berkeley since 2014. I have my own lab at the University of Berkeley, and everything is going great. And after I received the award, like I said, I received my tenure, and I have received a few other grants and awards. So, you know, it brought me further luck, and I'm very happy to be with you this evening. Elçin, the day you received the award, you were talking about a new mechanism about the prevention of the deterioration of the cells. So where is the study headed towards? There's a new project that we're working on, and the Pew Foundations. We received the innovator grant of the Pew Foundation, and the Accelera Institute is also supporting us. You know, what we're looking at is the stress pathway, because, you know, in cells normally when they are faced with a stress condition, when they are exposed to stress, we have seen that the reproductive cells trigger these stress pathways naturally, but the dose is much smaller. And then aging, in the geriatric world, there is something called hormesis. You know, little stress is good, but too much stress is too bad, very bad. So what we're thinking is, they do this, the reproductive cells do this mechanism naturally, and there are a few pathways which we're working on, and we're on the verge of discovering something interesting. And I'm sorry for talking half English, half Turkish, because I just don't know the Turkish versions of the scientific terminology, she says. You know, this hormesis is a very interesting issue, you know, just like Nietzsche says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So this is very much applicable in biology, but they just couldn't discover this mechanism as to how to use it. So, you know, the reproductive cells being engaged naturally, it's very interesting. You're around here, thank you. We will be with you in the continuation of the ceremony. Yes, Tamer, we have listened, we have read your new articles, and we were looking forward to it about the stem cell activities and where they were headed. And can you give us a brief update? Hi, everyone. My lab at the Koç University is working on stem cells and whether we can model human diseases with them, because what's seen in Turkey and across the world, there are certain rare diseases, and to be able to model them, you cannot always get materials from the patient. But once we get these materials from the patient, convert it into stem cells, then we can generate endless quantities of stem cells. And this is one of the most recent projects. In Adıyaman, for instance, the family had a mutation that wasn't seen anywhere else. And we got materials from them, we converted them into stem cells, and what caused this disease through this mutation, genetic mutation, is easily researched now because we've got an endless supply of materials with us. And also using stem cells, different building, they are called organette, different organ-like bodies. We made liver organoids. Now we're dreaming of creating or generating brain organoids. And this is exciting, this scientific award brought visibility for us. Many students applied to our labs to conduct research. So it was a very useful thing, and we're happy about this. Yes, Elif, you are the last now, because we talked with you at length, and your ceremony coincided with COVID-19, but we held it live, we couldn't hold the conference live, but and today Elif is coming from a meeting, so she changed here, and her kids are here actually, and this is how she's among us. And thank you for being with us. And we left you towards, we kept the best to the end. And then the next one is about to arrive then after me. So how are your studies? They're doing great, we're going great, and we're excited. And this award ceremony, even though last year it was small, because of the pandemic, but the visibility was big. And what happened, let's see, as a research, we are working on we are continuing to work on cell antennas, the lipid cells and metabolic pathways. We are working on these, and these are a bit sensational products, that is going to bring echoes across the world. But our findings in the sciences, we are going to merge them with patient samples. And there's another project that excites me a lot, the European, I'm going to go to an interview for one of the funds of the European Union. A new organelle was defined within the cell, but we discovered their duties, centrosomes, we call cilia, and then there are satellites, that position themselves around the cells. And the satellites are very important, and we demonstrated their association with the diseases. We have a project that will demonstrate how they will operate, and I hope it will receive funds. So it's exciting, it's going well. Good luck then. This makes us happy, and we are also happy that this also made you more visible and that it boosted your relations with your teachers. Ebru, I have a question for you. Your research is going towards implementation, and we read your most recent article about you defined the molecule that regulates the function of endoplasmic reticulum. So is it going to move on to the clinic phase from Altos, or is there a different roadmap? Now, thank you. At Altos Labs, we're doing other different things. For instance, metabolism, it has an effect on the development of the embryo, and it accompanies a person's growth and aging. So how the metabolism drives these processes, we're trying to understand that medically, and then we're trying to develop certain approaches to delay aging. So I moved in a different path. Elchin, last time we discussed with you, this group, I don't know if you were able to hear, because what we are dreaming is to develop and to create the Turkish version of the Pew Foundation. Once this number reaches a certain critical level, to strengthen the collaboration between you all, to support it, and to also build bridges between you and partners in Turkey. What can we do to make you more successful? I would like to make a last round. So what's your wish list? But, the hypothetical ones, not tools and equipment. So you said, because I did mention the tools and equipment last year. Yes, but there's the Istanbul Development Agency and Koç University supported this, and we received our first image in the supervision. So it's no longer in the wish list because it has become a reality. Yes, Elchin, what would you like to say? I think that would be great. What can be accomplished is the scientists in Turkey and the scientists overseas. If we can focus on or invest in projects that those in Turkey and those in those overseas can collaborate, that would strengthen the bridge. Because us living in the U.S. or living elsewhere overseas, we submit applications for finance, for grants, but the grant given, if the main resource of the grant given is Turkey, and if this is through a collaboration with Turkey, if this is through a synergy with Turkey, then that would be great. But I think that depends on time, and that depends on the support received. Yes, last year I asked this question to Elif, and Mr. Ali asked Elif this question, and Elif said, if I had a magic wand, I would ask for a microscope, she said. But then I think you did receive that magic wand. Yes, I did. So we're careful about what we are wishing for, Tamer, what are your observations? Because this is when you look at these multi-party collaborations, as well as in order to encourage the mobilization of the students to take part in the researches. Certain things in Turkey go well, while some others don't go so well. And specifically, the obstacle in us forging forward is the fact that we're losing good students to overseas, and they're going overseas. As a principle, it's okay, but we have to be able to keep some of them here. So therefore, this is certain things need to change at the country level. So I agree with what Elchin says, the European researchers and the Turkish researchers have many projects that they can accomplish together. TÜBİTAK holds some of them, the Turkish Scientific Authority, but not together with the U.S. And as you know better, the Turkish scientists community in the U.S. is quite established, so such a mechanism would be good. We're well aware of that. The Deputy Minister of Industry and Technology is among us. So Turkey has a fast-growing scientific diaspora, particularly in medicine, in the medical sense, and we discussed about it today too. So the pool that we used when we were choosing this award has reached an immense dimension, as you all know. When we were choosing this project, it is those colleagues that are working. So it is those individuals who make up the jury. And I am supporting them as an organizer only. And this pool is growing, and it is getting more and more difficult for us to choose candidates, because there is a very strong, high quality network of stars, and this network of stars, we should keep them together, we should strengthen them, and we should strengthen their bonds and ties with the nation, with the country. Thank you for mentioning this. You're living in the field, you're living in the trench, and we're looking from far away, trying to move towards that dream. And thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting. I wish you were here live, so we're looking forward to see you in the symposium next year. All the winners of the scientific award. It's May 8 and 9, 2023. It is the centennial anniversary of our republic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Professor Gökhan. Thank you. I listened to the entire panel with a wide smile on my face, because we saw that they all moved, they all progressed, and it makes us proud. And there is a Turkish brand, and creating a brand from out of Turkey is also a way of supporting these stars of sorts. Therefore, supporting, what Yıldız Holding is doing is great, but now we've got the Deputy Minister of Industry and Technology. Yes, both the public and the private need to pave the path for the scientists. That is very valuable, and we need to emphasize that. And thank you. I would like to thank each and every one of them for their support. And now it's the most exciting moment of this evening. And this year's 2020 Sabri Ülker Scientific Award winner is every research is fed with passion, curiosity, research, new discoveries are blended together, and every step takes you to success, and reaching the right information is possible with teamwork and sustainability. And Sabri Ülker Foundation is supporting young researchers for over a decade and working for the future of public health, nutrition, metabolism, and public health related researches are awarded by the Sabri Ülker Foundation. And this year's winner is Ms. Associate Professor Nilay Yapıcı from the Neurobiology and Behavior Department of Cornell University. And she is a graduate of Bosphorus University Molecular Biology Genetics Department, and she is working on the neurons and how brain integrates the hunger state, and she is working for human health in her lab for 4 years now. Yes, Associate Professor Nilay Yapıcı is invited to the stage with a round of applause. Yes, Ms. Nihal. And I would like to invite the Deputy Minister of Technology and Industry, Çetin Ali Dönmez, Yıldız Holding Chairman Ali Ülker, Sabri Ülker Foundation, Dr. Talat Uças, and Professor Gökhan Hotamışlıgil are invited on stage to deliver her award.
Hocam, teşekkürler. Evet. İnsan beyni
taste and eating mechanisms in the human brain, and obesity and the treatment of metabolic diseases will be enlightened by her research. Associate Professor Nilay Yapıcı. At Cornell University in USA, Department of Neurobiology and Behavioral Sciences, she is teaching and she's continuing her works over there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. The neuron circuits which are regulating the nutrition behavior. So Nilay Hanım is going to talk about and explain her research in a minute. Congratulations once again. We would like to thank you very much. And the floor is yours. Well, I have made a speech because I'm very excited and I'm very nervous tonight. So first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sabri Ülker Foundation and Professor Dr. Gökhan Hotamışlıgil for seeing me worthy of this award. Sabri Ülker Scientific Award has become a token of the value attributed to science. Primarily Mr. Ali Ülker and all of the other family members of Ülker family and the whole research team at the foundation. I would like to thank you very much. With the motivation and inspiration that we have from you, hopefully we are going to make better progress in our country and all throughout the world. Distinguished guests, scientific person and expert cannot achieve so many things like this on their own. And if you allow me, I would like to extend my thanks to so many people. My mother and father and my brothers who have always been there for me to support me and who advise healthy eating and also become an inspiration of my research. My mom and always my father who has always encouraged me to use my brain and for always believing in me, and because of the spiritual and the monetary sacrifices. I can't thank you enough, and my parents really helped me so much. They're here. I love you so much, Mom, Dad. I couldn't have made it without you. Starting from the initial years of my education life, my teachers and professors, particularly during my years at Boğaziçi University, all of my professors who have given me the love of the science and who have taught me and made me a student who is a patriot and who is a friendly scientific person. My advisor, Professor Dr. Barry Dixon, who was an inspiration during my PhD years at Rockefeller University, Leslie Borsell, and at Cornell University, who helped me so much while establishing my lab. My colleague, Professor Dr. Joseph Belta. I would like to thank you very much for the professional support. I couldn't be where I am without you. And Cornell University students and my colleagues, I would like to thank you very much. Thanks to your support and thanks to your efforts, we're going to be achieving better things. Last but not least, I would like to dedicate this award to the young researchers and students in Turkey. Never ever give up on your dreams and ideals. Work very hard and never give up vis-a-vis the challenges, and be disciplined. Never ever compromise or give up on the quality of the science. You have your utmost, our utmost belief and together we are going to make the science of Turkey in a better position. Thank you so much. Thank you. Distinguished Nilay Yapıcı, thank you so much, and we would like to wish you the best of success in your coming scientific endeavors. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Well, actually, I am going to make a scientific presentation now. This was the thank you presentation. I love talking so much. Exactly. Okay. So, since my initial days when I started science, I have been always interested how brain controls behaviors. Particularly, as you could see on the visuals, all of the living creatures have to eat and find food in order to survive in the nature. When we look at the research in the last 5 decades, it has been found out that the brain is now controlling eating. And how does the brain do that? There is this smell, and there is this sense of taste, and while integrating those two, it could create the urge to eat baklava in a year. But there is this problem. If the brain cannot manage those mechanisms in the right fashion, then when the energy gain is higher than the energy expenditure, then some metabolic diseases emerge within the body. So those in turn trigger overeating in the brain. That means that results in worse damage in the brain. So that is how obesity and so many metabolic diseases are created within the brain. Unfortunately, in the world and in our country, in the last 2 decades or 3 decades, the number of obese or overweight people has become increased to 2.1 billion. That is a huge economic burden for all of the countries all throughout the world. So when you check this map and look at this map, obesity. So we're talking about obesity, which could be described as 30 more than the body mass index, which is more than 30 kg per square meters. So unfortunately, the number of overweight or obese people has been tripled in the last 30 years. And when we look at the obesity rate in Turkey, it is on average 30.3%. So it's not isolated. It might result in so many different comorbidities: migraine, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, asthma, hypertension. So this is actually very much embedded with a number of different comorbidities and other diseases. Then how to solve that problem? So there is one thing which we know of. So from our inner organs, there are some molecules, ghrelin, for example, which is excreted by the stomach. Leptin is excreted by the fat tissue, and insulin is excreted by pancreas. And there are target cells, neural cells, and receptors targeted by all these. And while the brain integrates all these, it regulates, your appetite, and it could control how much you would like to eat. But there is also this thing. So within the human brain, there are 86 billion neurons, which is an extraordinary number. So that's why, we have to focus on smaller brains. Rats, for example, they have 71 million neurons, and the rats and the fruit flies and flies have around 250,000 neurons. So many people ask me, do the flies have brains or neural cells? And I tell them yes, around 250,000 neurons. So our objective is to have an understanding regarding the neural cells of of these animals, and look into these genes and to be able to understand how the sense of eating is regulated within the brains of human beings as well. If we could find an association or affiliation over there, we can understand how and or why these genes function or dysfunction as well. So, as I've told you before, we use rats for our research purposes. We have two photon boning or stimulating microscope technique, which is a very recent one. While the rat is eating, we look at the functionality of the neural cells, and we could do this in the regular and in the obese rats. So, actually, when the person or the organism is overweight, how does the functioning of the brain change, and which genes could get into interaction regarding this? And we can do the same thing in the brains of the flies as well. And in one of the studies which we have conducted on the brains of the flies, we have seen these green neural cells. So if you stimulate those cells, then the fly tends to eat more. If they completely lose their functionality, then they're not eating. The fly is not eating. And this is the digestive system, and this is the stomach, which you see in blue, and the green ones are the surrounding neural cells. So these neural cells, which you see, are sending direct signals from the stomach to the brain of the fly, and this is how the fly can regulate to what extent or how much they're going to eat. So we are focusing on human beings and also the flies or the animals. This mechanism, this organism is the mosquitoes. As you know, during summer, mosquitoes are they're posing a huge problem also regarding the public health. They could transmit so many diseases. If they quench their thirst because they have an hunger for the human blood, if we could suppress their hunger, perhaps we might find a solution to find a cure for the communicative diseases, the transmittive diseases, and we have rather similar neural systems. Therefore, this mechanism could be directly adapted to the mosquitoes. Who knows? And this structure, so this interaction and communication between the digestive system and brain is also found in the human beings. The nerve called vagus is the largest nerve in the human body, and it regulates the contact with all of the organs and the brain within the human body. And as you know, this nerve has repercussions on the metabolic disorders regulation, and we believe that it has a control. So we have this is one of the clinical trials which are still tested by the Ministry of Health at United, vagus nerve stimulation to control and to suppress the appetite of people. So this is still work in progress, and if we have positive results from these trials, so perhaps we can control the urge of eating of the obese patients. This is what they plan to do. So I'm going to actually leave it here without further ado. So this is my team and my lab at Cornell University. We have very talented young people. Without them, I could not be here today. National Institute of General Medical Sciences, Pew Foundation, and Alfred Sloan Foundation. We have financing. Cornell University continues our research. Thank you so much. This means so much to me. Thank you.
Doktor Nilay Yapıcı, çok teşekkürler. Sağ olun.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And would you like to take your award as well, Nilay Hanım? Well, thank you so much, really. Well, for the 7th time this year, Sabri Ülker Scientific Award was granted, and this marks the end of our ceremony. As we heard from Nilay Hanım's father, tonight we see the difference made by the people by merely using their brain, and we see how important their eating behaviors are. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on this great occasion. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you.